Facebook Live is not dispositive of our operation. Okay, let's call us to order.
Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this session of the Upper Darby Township Zoning Hearing Board. A couple of announcements before we begin. The first is a change to our agenda. We are removing item number 3, reorganization, due to not having our full complement of membership here this evening. But we will proceed. Our alternate is seated this evening, and we have 2 members, which constitutes a quorum. As an announcement for anybody seeking relief tonight, a vote of 1-1 or a tie vote on your application constitutes a denial of the relief. So if that impacts how you would like to proceed this evening, you do have the option to continue to a future date, should you so choose. Further announcements, the board did meet in an executive session prior to this evening's hearing to discuss questions of law and receive legal advice on this evening's applications and other matters within its jurisdiction. For this evening's hearings, there are 2 ways to participate if you are not an applicant or an applicant's witness. The first is public comment. At the end of each application, we will give an opportunity for public comment. Public comment are statements and statements only in support or in opposition to the relief being requested in the application. So I'll give everybody an opportunity for that at the end of each application. If for a particular application you feel you have a particular interest that is elevated beyond that of the common citizen, primarily due to your proximity to the property in question through your own, where you live, or a property interest that you hold, you can request what's called party status. Party status will afford you the right to ask questions of the applicant's witnesses, present testimony and evidence of your own, receive a copy of the board's written decision, and if you disagree with the board's decision, take an appeal to the Delaware County Court of Common Pleas. At the beginning of each application, I'll give an opportunity for people to request party status. There are some questions that go along with that to determine your eligibility for that designation, and then if it is granted, I will walk you through how to participate in that manner. But even if you still reserve the opportunity to make public comment if you're not granted party status. Thank you. If you do anticipate on requesting party status, there are forms on the front table for you to fill out with some contact information so that we're able to be in touch with you should there be a continuance, and if you or to get you a copy of the board's written decision. So I'd ask, if you do anticipate requesting party status, to grab a form and fill out the information, especially your name, your address, and your email address, which is the most efficient way for the board to get in touch with you. Are there any other announcements from the board? All right. So we'll move to our first hearing. The first hearing tonight is application 11-5 of 24, the application of Meli Lai for the property located at 224 Long Lane in Upper Darby, PA, parcel ID number 160-401-16300, located in the C1 Commercial District. The application requests a variance from section 550-8A to permit a multifamily dwelling. And this application was previously continued from the board's November hearing. Before we begin, we'll ask, is there anybody present requesting party status for this application? Seeing none, the board will enter the following exhibits. ZHB1 will be the application packet, ZHB2 will be the notice photos, and ZHB3 will be proof of publication. Mr. McCreesh, the floor is yours.
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Eliak and members of the board. Thank you. I represent Meli Lai, who's right here, and this is her husband, Al, and she owns the building at 224 Long Lane. I'm sure you're familiar. It's right down the street a little bit. What they have, they've owned it for a little over 3 years. It they have had one commercial tenant, and it's been over a year. They've had it, they have a real estate agent, and there's just not many commercial tenants for that block or that area. If you look, 220 Long Lane. So what they want to do is get permission to use the first floor as a residential apartment. They would put in a two-bedroom residential space. It's about 760 square feet on the first floor. The second floor is currently apartments, and there's one apartment on the third floor. There's a one bedroom, two efficiencies and a one bedroom on the second floor. The third floor is a one bedroom, and the first floor, the proposals for a two bedroom. But they have it rented, listed with the real estate agent for over a year. They had one possible, and that's why we continued the last meeting, but that fell through. There's really no, like I said, prospects for commercial tenants in that block. 220, it looks like, is residential on the first floor. 226 right next to them looks like residential. 228's a small grocery store, and I think 222 is a daycare, but I believe all the other uses in that block are either vacant or residential from the looks of it. There's no other viable commercial businesses in that block. So with that, we'd ask for a hardship, as it's not really that possible to get a commercial tenant in there. Also, the use would be less intensive than a commercial tenant. There'd be less parking required, less traffic, less people coming and going. So for all those reasons, we would request the variance. Ms. Ly's here. If you have any questions of her, if there's anything I missed that you needed to ask.
We have Ms. Lai sworn in.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to give?
Yes.
Could you spell your name for the reporter?
M-A-I-L-Y, and last name's L-A-I.
Sorry, it's a little distracting with the noises that are coming out from the outside. We apologize. Ms. Lai, you heard everything your attorney said,
Yes,
and do you believe it to be true?
yes,
And would you adopt it as your own testimony?
yes. He was there earlier. We are looking at everything together.
Okay. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
No.
Does the board have questions for Ms. Lai?
How many people do you,
Go ahead.
how many people do you expect to have in your apartments?
If it's two bedroom, two people? If we can,
It's a fairly small space. A two-bedroom apartment. I don't think it wouldn't be big enough for a family.
no, not for a family, just two bedroom.
Yeah, so maybe two single people, or maybe if they had one small child, I don't know, but
And how many, so there's currently 4 apartments in the building already?
correct. On the second floor, there's two efficiencies, so that's one person in each of
Yes.
them, and a one-bedroom with one
Yes.
person,
Yes,
and the third floor is
one bedroom to one
So-
person,
so
or
there-
one person.
So there's, right now, there's four
Yes,
people. They're all one
One
person,
bedroom.
one bedroom or
Yes.
or
Efficiency.
efficiency. So each one only has one tenant.
So if you currently already have 4 tenants and you're expecting what, 2 more bedrooms, right? So 6 total?
yes.
Okay.
6, correct.
So where do the existing tenants park?
On the street, but some of does not have a car.
Okay,
Like 3 of them does not have a car.
okay. And how many parking spots do you have in front of your property?
It's street parking.
So just street parking?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, probably space for two in front of the, front
Yes.
of, front of this,
My property.
front of the property, because the property is 25 feet wide, so I guess that's about, I think a car's 12 feet for a space, something like that. So
Yes.
you probably fit two cars in front.
what's the square footage of the units?
Uh,
Uh,
The first, the first floor is about 760
60.
square
yes.
feet. It's
Mhm.
broken up, it's broken up a little. So it's, what'd you say? It's
Earlier, we measure about
about,
700.
it's about 900 square feet, the whole footprint. So I guess the efficiencies are probably only 300 square feet, maybe.
350. I don't know.
Yeah, 350. They're small one, but efficiencies. And then the third floor, I guess, is a bigger apartment. How
Yeah,
big?
1
Maybe
bedroom.
One
not big.
bedroom, 500
Just
square
one,
feet,
yes.
600 square feet.
Do these units have access to bathrooms?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, like, do they have them like in unit? Like each one has their own
Yes,
bathroom? Okay.
It's, they all have their kitchen and their bathroom and living room. Some of them have, only the efficiency is connected.
Wendy,
Efficiency
only-
is just one big room, or like
Oh,
the kitchen and
Yes.
then
The-
the
yes.
bedrooms.
One
There's
big
a-
room.
Yeah, one big room, bedroom, living room. Right.
Any other board questions? Anything else?
How are you in compliance with the fire laws?
Oh, we have certified, fire alarm certification every year, inspection. And they come and, inspect and we get certified.
Is it hardwired then, or what it, do you know what I mean by hardwired?
Yes.
Hardwire?
What is the parking requirement here?
So I mean, the parking requirement for 2 bedrooms, 2 spaces, in theory, if it was commercial, right, it would probably be more than 2. So you could look at it as less than what a
the
commercial would be. So which means it would be, right, exempt from
It falls under the reduction provision in
in the
the,
nonconformities clause. Yep.
any other board questions?
I have, think, no.
Anything else you'd like to add, Mr. McCreash?
No, Ms. Elliott, thank you.
Is there any public comment on this application? All right, we'll note that there's no public comment. You ready to make a motion, or-
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We receive a written decision within 45 days of tonight.
All right, thank
Have
you
a good
very
night.
much.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see you.
Thank you.
Oh, sure. Since you're good. We'll note that there's some additional parties and members of the public that have entered since I made my announcements, and we'll just note that there are 2 members of the board tonight voting. So that does mean that there are a split decision, a 1-1 tie would result in denial of any requested relief. So if any members, many applicants would like to request a continuance, please let us know if you want to defer for a full board decision on your application. We'll note that 1/1 of 25 for 241 Springton Road has been continued for other reasons to the February 25th hearing at 7 p.m. In this room. So our next hearing is item 1, or application 1-2 of 25, application of Aaron Baguki for the property located at 1117 Blythe Avenue in Drexel Hill, Pennsylvania, parcel ID number 16100001210 in the R1 residential district, requesting a variance from section 550-39C1 to permit a fence height of 84.5 inches with a post height of 87.5 inches, where a maximum height of 72 inches or 6 feet is permitted. The applicant here this evening?
Yes.
Good evening. Before we begin, I'll ask, is there anybody requesting party status for this application? Seeing none, the board will enter the following exhibits. ZHB1 will be the application packet, ZHB2 will be the notice photos, and ZHB3 will be the proof of publication. Sir, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Do I need to present the photos of the notice being posted?
I believe we have them in our file, so we're good. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. Yeah, I'm Aaron Bogacki, and this is my wife, Caitlin.
Kaitlyn.
And actually, let's have you both sworn in now. That'd be helpful.
I do. Yeah, so thank you again for being here. As you mentioned, we're asking for a maximum fence height of 84.5 inches with the maximum post height of 87.5 inches. We're requesting this relief as our backyard slopes down over 3 feet from the furthest right-hand corner. If you're facing away from our back of our house, slopes down over 3 feet from right to left. As well as our deck that is currently off of the back of the house is raised from 8 to 22 inches to accommodate for that slope going downhill. In order to provide, us and our neighbors also a little bit of privacy, requesting an additional foot does one of two things. One, it's more visually appealing as the panels will run horizontally. So in order to keep them level, as you go downhill, it'll be higher on the low end as it approaches closer to 6 feet on the higher end. And then it also, accounts for the difference in variance from our height off of the yard. So that way we can be on our deck and not be watched by the rear neighbors behind us. And I'd just like to add that the fence will be in the rear yard, so there's no obstruction to a public right-of-way or roadway or any issues along those lines.
Okay. Does the board have questions?
Yep. So you mentioned that you need this fence for privacy. Could you go a little bit into the usage of your backyard and how this fence either helps you utilize your property?
Right, yes, as I mentioned, we have a deck off of the backyard that was there when we moved in. Originally, when we purchased the property, there was forsythia bushes running along the rear of our yard. Those provided great natural privacy. Unfortunately, they started to die and were a very big eyesore. We love spending the time outside when it's nice outside on the back deck. And, if our rear neighbors also want to be out, it would kind of end up in a weird scenario where we're watching each other, but we don't really talk, so it's just a little bit uncomfortable, at least for us.
How high would you have said that would you say that the bushes that existed previously were about the same height as your current fence?
Bushes were much higher.
Okay.
I'd estimate the bushes were between 8 and 9 feet. I did have to be careful to approach the power lines when I was trimming the bushes.
And is there a reason why you went to build a fence instead of replanting said bushes?
Yes, so we did have a giant hole in those bushes when they died. We attempted 2 times to replant bushes and they didn't hold and kept dying. So we believe there was a fungus that was growing and spreading amongst the bushes, and that's why it kind of started in one area and died as they went out. So we did try the bush approach before the fence.
How high is your deck?
It's about 8 inches on the lowest part, and then the height, as you go left from our back door, it's approximately, I'd say, 22 inches off of the ground on the farthest side.
So if your deck were lower, you wouldn't have the problem or less problem.
Correct, but I wouldn't be able to lower my back door and the rest of the house. So the deck, we don't step up to the deck. You open the sliding door and walk right out. So it's the grade of the backyard that causes the deck to be that height, as the deck's level with the entrance from the rear.
Any other questions? Okay.
Actually, I do have one. So what's the distance from the deck to the fence? Like how much room is in between the deck to the fence?
I would say 20 to 30 feet. I mean, the deck is attached to the back door. It's whatever yard we have left and then to the fence. So it can't be more than 20, 25 feet.
The whole backyard or between the edge of the deck and the fence? Like,
Between the edge of where the deck ends and where the fence would
Okay.
be, you're asking, yeah, I'd say probably 20 feet.
thank you. Any other questions of the board? All right. Anything else you'd like to add?
I would just like to add that the bushes that we did have, as we tried to maintain them as they were dying, the neighbors behind us proceeded to come over and cut one completely down. So we were fighting against them at times for taking out our bushes, causing damage to them that allowed them to not regrow. We also had issues with them coming out 3, 4 in the morning and messing with the bushes when they didn't think we would know about that happening. So there's a little bit of uncomfortability there. So we kind of just want our privacy and their privacy as well, so that we can both be out enjoying our spaces privately.
I do have one more question. Have you ever had a survey done
Yes,
and you're within your property line?
yes, where the fence is 5 inches from the rear of the property line. And we had that survey done shortly after we moved in. I don't know for a fact, but I would believe it'd be April of '22 is when we had that survey done. And there's stakes in the rear as well as pins in the front.
Thank you.
That's it. Good. All right. Is there any public comment on this application? All right. Well, note there's no oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see your hand. You can come forward if you don't mind just stepping aside so we can use the. Sir, if you can state your name, we'll have you sworn in.
Good evening. My name's Drew Carr, C-A-R-R.
Can you raise your hand? You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give
I do.
What do you have to say, Mr. Carr?
Well, I'm Aaron's next door neighbor. We share a driveway together. They're a beautiful couple, very young. They have a nice house. They keep the property up perfectly. And, you know, I've been in this home, my home, since 1960, my family. So we've been in Drexel Hill since 1948, my family. So we've been around for a long time. I've had a number of neighbors. The couple have been just terrific maintaining the property. And when the forsythia bushes started to die, they attempted it several times to replant new bushes, didn't work. So with that, they themselves, they had to remove all these bushes, and it was a hell of a job. And they got it done. And AJ is very handy. So is his wife. And they put this very pleasing private fence in the back. And you know, everybody probably lives in Upper Darby Township here. Everything's real close, and they wanted a little privacy. and they got it with this new fence. So I'm just pleased that they put the fence in, and here we are. A little, I don't understand why we're here, but nevertheless, I appreciate the time for my comments to you.
Thank you, Mr. Carr. Is there any other public comment? All right, seeing no further public comment.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
All right,
Thank
no
you,
one
everyone,
opposed?
for your time.
You'll receive a written decision for your records within 45 days.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank
Have a
you
good
all.
evening.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, our next application is 1-3 of 25, the application of Zhu Wei Zhao for the property located at 402 Long Lane, Upper Darby, PA, parcel ID number 160-401-18200 in the R3 Residential District, requesting a variance from section 550A8 to permit a restaurant and a variance from section 550-33A to permit no off-street parking spaces where 5 parking spaces are required. Is there anybody requesting party status for this application?
For these applications?
All right,
No.
seeing no request for party status, the board will enter the following exhibits. ZHB1 will be the application packet, ZHB2 will be the notice photos, and ZHB3 will be proof of publication. Is Mr. Zhao? Ms. Zhao?
Hello?
Yes?
I want to change my property
Okay,
from.
just one second. Are you
I'm
Zhu
not-
Wei Zhao?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Welcome. So, and who is with you here?
We the tenants that's
Tenants.
currently renting
Cynthia
a
Chapel.
commercial.
Okay.
building. My name is Javard Johnson, my mom Cynthia Chapel.
Do you all plan on testifying this evening?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I got it covered.
Can we have all 3 of them sworn in?
Yes. Javard Johnson, Cynthia Chapel.
My name's Cynthia Chapel,
Can you spell your last name?
Chappell.
Okay, Mr. Zhao, can you just give us a brief outline of what you're requesting here this evening?
Cause like my property is is right now it's residential. I want to change to commercial, so my tenants can running a restaurant. Is that right?
Okay, yeah, so let
Okay.
me explain, because he helped me help talking on. Well, I mean, yeah,
Let me start first.
why let me speak?
My
real
name
quick?
is Cynthia Chapel. I'm the one that got the business and stuff running, okay? I went to school for my business license, business plan, and all that. I went to Philadelphia Women's Organization and all that. And I ran into a building that used to be an old Chinese store. It was for rent, and I went for it. And I did everything I had to do to go to school to get the business plan and business started. So I'm here today to represent my business, and this is the owner. So my goals is to run my own business and bring like revenue to me and the community here. And I know that 402 Upper Lane used to be a Chinese store, and I'm trying to turn it into like a fast food restaurant, takeout and all that, everything is done. And I wanted to give the opportunity to be a single woman to try to run my own business. And that's why I started to try to start my own business up here up in Darby. And this building been sitting here. I'm from Chester. I've been here for 14 years, and I got this building, and I'm willing to get it up and running, no matter what it takes. And I'm willing to get back to the community. I'm willing to. I always dig into the community. Homeless people, and I buy food from here all the time around here for 14 years, and I wanted to start something different. It's no soul food up there, it's no breakfast food up there on Long Lane, and I figured that it's a goal of mine. And like I said, to get my own business started and to move forward and to expand
So that's why I'm here today, just to give y'all a example of where the city when they start the home business and starting to establish. And I just hope that my goals to just get my foot in the door, even if I don't succeed, but I want y'all to listen to my prayer that I have goals and potentials to bring back like a southern food. There's nothing around here. It's Chinese food, it's of Africans, it's everything. And I know that I can bring like organic food, plant-based food, and southern food. And I just want the opportunity to give me the first step in my feet in the door. That's all I'm asking.
Okay, so on his behalf, he got it's a two-story residential, commercial building. So it's two commercial buildings down the bottom. It's
But
two
they only.
Mom, listen, it's
Okay.
two residents up top. They're being rented out by, I guess, the residents that he got rented out. Downstairs is a barber shop. Next door is the restaurant. Used to be his mom's and dad's old Chinese restaurant. So what my mom did, I guess she met him. She got the building, whatever. And I completely renovated the building from the kitchen to the middle room to the front room. New ceiling fan, new bathroom, everything. But I guess they put a sticker on, I guess, whatever he had to, try to accomplish. Mom, can I just speak? Whatever he had to accomplish or get done, I guess that's what the sticker was putting in the window for the zone and everything. We got all the plumbing, we did everything we can do.
But we ain't trying to get him in no trouble. We trying to work with
Okay,
him.
hold on, just, no one's in trouble. There's just a process we have to,
Yes, yes.
there's just a process we have to proceed through. So so understanding you want to start a business and have some opportunity in Upper Darby.
Yeah, long story that it's a long lane where it's like completely filled with commercial buildings and residential. Like they all connected. You got apartments up top, commercial buildings down the bottom. I see that there's a lot of commercial like takeout, gyro, Puerto Rican stores and smoke shops and everything, but there's no real base like soul food or food that you might like that you don't see around. And that's what my mom's trying to bring to the community, basically like breakfast, lunch, and soul food. It's going to be like a limited takeout, but you do got the option to sit and after you get your food to eat or whatever it's going to be. Like we'll have multiple, desserts, all types of different like soul foods and cheesesteak, just all regular stuff you get, but a little kick to it.
So this section of Long Lane is primarily commercial?
Residential.
Okay. And you have residential units upstairs?
Yes, it's two.
And will those residential units remain?
Yeah, they remain actually occupied as we speak.
And the portion of the property that you did all this work on,
Yes.
what was it being used as
It was
most
used as
recently?
a Chinese restaurant.
Hold on,
Mom,
hold.
be quiet. It was his parents had it used as a Chinese restaurant back when they was younger, probably about like 10, 20, 15 years ago. And they had a Chinese stove and everything was set up like, for the Asian cooking. And but what I did, I just went there and remodeled it.
But what was it? Was it currently being used as a
No, it was
Chinese
shut
restaurant
down.
or
It
a
was
store?
shut down for about like last 10 years. Like last 10 years. Why he's talking to me?
And was it vacant for the last 10 years?
Yeah, it was vacant.
No, so I just want to confirm, Mr. Zhao, there was nothing in the first floor for the last 10 years?
Not really.
It was empty?
It's not really.
Did you have any tenants?
No, I just bought it like 2 years ago.
Okay, you bought it 2 years ago. Okay. And in the past 2 years, has there been anything in the first floor?
No.
Okay. Other board questions? Related to the use as a restaurant?
Okay, so this is just a general question. Since we're talking about variance related to parking, how do you expect your customers to come
Well,
to
Long
your
Lane is,
restaurant?
Like, base, like a lot of people walking. So a lot of people. Mom, can I mean?
And it's not a traffic zone problem issue, cause I've been there for 14 years, I've been buying food and everything, I walk and drive. We know it's against the law to park here, but people do it, but I won't. You understand?
Can I explain?
And they
It's
walk and they park, but they mostly walk. They don't have traffic lined up in the traffic and all that. The only problem they had traffic up there is the smoke shop. When they
lined up, and they know that it's against the law to park there, but they do it, and I will not allow it. You understand? I've been there for too long. It's not a parking zone. You got nothing with the Upper Darby
So-
police, cause they always out there like 24/7.
Mind
So,
you, it's one.
like,
Ma'am, we're not asking you to enforce the
I know.
ma'am,
it's just-
hold on. We're not asking you to enforce parking regulations. When a restaurant goes in,
It's not a
it's, hold on,
You gotta, Mom, listen, let these people talk. You gotta, it gotta be parking, period, when you're opening the business. Gotta be some type of parking.
Okay.
Just go ahead, sir. I'm
yes.
sorry about that.
Whether it's a restaurant to sit at or a restaurant to take food out at, there's, at any commercial business, there's a parking requirement. So we're just asking
Correct.
where customers your store, if they don't walk,
If they don't walk, where across the street is about like four meters, like parking meters.
Okay.
So you got parking right there, and then you got right in front of it where it ain't no meters, but it's a curve to where the cars park at. So altogether, it's about like a good 7, 8 parking spots right there. Okay. And then you also have the bar, which is a public parking lot, and back of the bar, which is right across the street. So it's like, then you have the 7-Eleven. Then you have the 7-Eleven. I'm sorry about that. Then you have the 7-Eleven, which is across the street, and they have a big public parking lot too, also. So
And you would say that, would there be other, or is there already existing like other restaurants that are on that same
You got a
strip?
gyro. You got the Poppy stores, that Puerto Rican stores that cook. You got actually a sit-in restaurant. I guess they do like events only inside, but they cook. And then down, like right next to us, you got a store that just came, like a Mexican type store that sell like all different type of items. Then you got a kitchen, which is like an Indian kitchen right next to it, like a commercial kitchen. They cook in, you know. So, I'm sorry about that. Like, yeah.
No, you're fine.
that's okay.
Any other questions? You got any?
I have no questions.
Okay. All right.
All right. Is there any other public comment on this application? All right, seeing none.
Like to make a motion?
All right.
You wish to approve it?
I would like to second that motion.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
very much.
You receive a written decision within 45 days. You too. Best of luck. Yep.
Next one.
And then our last application of the evening is application 1-4 of 25. The application of Halal Brothers Live Poultry and Meat LLC applicant, excuse me, and JMS Real Estate LLC, the owner, for the property located at 3 Kelly Street, Lansdowne, Pennsylvania. Parcel ID numbers 1602-0129-200, 1602-0129-300, and 1602-0013-400 in the C4 Commercial Industrial District, requesting the following: a special exception from section 558A to permit the housing, slaughtering of live animals, of live poultry, goats, and cows, and retail sales. A variance from section 558A to permit 20 parking spaces where 39 parking spaces are required. And a variance from section 550-34G to permit a loading area which is visible from Kelly Street, a primary street. Is there anybody requesting, actually, is the applicant is represented this evening? Sir, can you introduce yourself?
Good evening. My name is David Chafkowitz. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. Would the board be so inclined to give us 5 minutes to discuss the idea of maybe continuing the matter for a full board?
Sure.
And could we maybe steal your, Josh, to have that?
Yeah,
part of
we'll
the
go off the
discussion?
record.
I appreciate it. As I mentioned, my name's David Shafkowitz. I'm here on behalf of the applicant. We would ask the board if they would consider continuing the matter so we could come back with a full board, if we could continue to a date certain.
We re-advertise in all and repost in all situations. So is there any objection to a continuance for the board?
No.
I am going to ask just because we have some people and I don't know if they're all with you, but
Yes.
is anybody here requesting party status for this matter? Okay, we'll just note.
I wasn't
there's
going to
none.
ask them all to testify, so don't worry about it.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure there was nobody interested that may have a comment on the continuance request. There's no objection from the board for the continuance. So we'll continue this to the February 25th hearing date, if that's acceptable to the applicant or works for the applicant, at 7 PM in council chambers.
No, we appreciate that. That should work. Sure, it's SHAF as in Frank, KOWITZ.
All right.
So we were happy to get you out of here early today, so we appreciate your
No problem.
consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Shafkowitz. The board has no other further business before it this evening, so a motion to adjourn would be appropriate.
Second.
Motion.
All in favor